A few days ago, I woke up with a sudden, intense pain in my mouth. After a sleepless night, I managed to book an emergency dental appointment first thing in the morning. Turns out my wisdom teeth were causing havoc, and I needed them out immediately. The procedure went fine, but the aftermath was brutal. The pain was overwhelming, and I could barely focus on anything else. The dentist prescribed me some painkillers and told me to take them every 6 hours, but the medication would wear off way too quickly, leaving me in agony. So, out of sheer desperation, I started taking them every 2 hours instead. I knew it wasn't exactly what the doctor ordered, but honestly, it was the only way I could cope. When my fiance found out I'd been taking the meds more frequently, he seemed to think he needed to intervene. Without even talking to me about it, he took my pills and locked them in a cupboard, saying he'd only hand them over every 6 hours as the doctor prescribed. To top it off, he took the key and told me he'd be working from home for the next few days to make sure I was following the rules. I was livid. I told him that it was my body, my pain, and my choice to manage it how I needed to. But he insisted he was only doing it because he was concerned for me, adding that it was my own fault anyway for putting off the wisdom teeth removal he'd been telling me to get for months. He wouldn't budge, and I felt like he was treating me like a child who couldn't make her own decisions. What started as a disagreement about painkillers quickly exploded into an argument about everything else we'd been holding back: our wedding, his controlling mother, and just about every other issue we hadn't fully addressed. It became a whirlwind of emotions, resentment, and frustration. Honestly, I can't even remember how we ended up talking about half of it, but I was already in so much pain that I just couldn't take it anymore. In the middle of it all, I grabbed my things, walked out, and went to my sister's house, knowing she'd have some painkillers I could use to get me through. I've been recovering at my sister's place ever since, ignoring his calls and texts as I try to rest. My sister has been a lifesaver, keeping me comfortable and making sure I have everything I need. Now that the worst of the pain has finally started to subside, I can think a little more clearly. I'm starting to wonder if maybe I overreacted by leaving, and if maybe he was just genuinely worried about me. Part of me feels like I should cut him some slack. Maybe he thought I was going to hurt myself, or that I'd accidentally overdose. But another part of me is still angry. It wasn't his right to take my meds away, especially when he knew the pain I was in. I'm torn between understanding his concern and feeling violated by his actions. Even if his intentions were good, he should have trusted me enough to make my own decisions. So now I'm stuck between feeling guilty for walking out and feeling justified for standing up for myself. I keep asking myself, was he just being protective, or was he trying to control me?